Welcome, everyone, to this week on the 6873 show. We have an exciting episode. Today, we have lostwild. He is a movie producer. He is a storyteller, kind of a jack of all trades, and we're very, very anxious to hear from him. We also have an amazing milestone to share with everyone. We have reached actually 1,000 subs, and we could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. We love every one of you.
Our potato chips! Yee!
Potato chips forever. Well, anyways, thank you for joining us this week on the 6873 show. My name is Ren. The other hosts of the show are...
I'm Rossi, and we also have...
Ion, and this beautiful woman next to me.
Is, as always, Tookie. And today we are joined by Healed as well on the couch right here, and of course, lostwild. So, as Ren just said, he is a jack of all trades. You are gonna know so much more about him in just a minute or so. I also want to do a shout out to our Patreons out there. Please love, like, and subscribe. Just support us in any way possible. We love you guys so much. Please continue the good work. We couldn't do this without you guys.
Exactly.
And we will, for existing Patreons, we actually are going to start having your names at the end of the show. Thank you so much for what you do. We could not have done this without you.
Exactly. So, lostwild, we have been looking very much forward to have you on the show. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here, guys, and congratulations. That's a big accomplishment as creators. You have your fan base. Good job.
Yeah.
These guys are worthy of being supported. And when you guys invited me onto this show more through Ren, I met Ren in Altspace, and I think I'd actually seen your show before. You guys, like, there'd been people talking about, I don't know, just these furries and funny conversations that were going on. And I remember just watching those videos and seeing just so much laughter and joy. And I just thought, dang, like, I want to hang out with those guys. That looks like a real fun bunch to be around. And yeah,
It happened.
Yeah, and like all last week, I was telling all my friends that I'm going to be on this show, and yeah, so that's very exciting for me. And thank you for being so patient. These guys have been teaching me the ways of VR chat, right? And
The magic
I'm
of
such
VR.
a noob. It took us 30 minutes just to get me to sit down on this chair. But I'm not gonna be a noob forever. You will. They've been laughing at me all morning.
Not at all.
It all started from the beginning.
Just give it time,
Yes.
and you'll learn the ropes very easily.
You'll be as
yes.
twisted
Trust
as
me,
the rest of us here pretty soon.
Yeah.
One of us.
Yep.
One of us.
Just
one of
stay out of
us.
certain worlds. Just stay out of certain worlds, and
Yes.
you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is really early days for VR, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
when
Well,
adoption comes, it's going to be insane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Too late there.
I mean, we're
it
right on the
wouldn't-
precipice right now of Ready Player One being a reality. Most of the technology they had in the movies, even the boot suits, exist now. I mean, we're
Really?
the
we're right there.
treadmill.
Mhm.
The treadmill
Omni
with
treads?
the ring around it.
Yeah.
I saw that
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
so funny. I saw it in a video, and there was this guy who was playing a horror game with other people, and he was strapped into this ring that was around him just to make sure
Mhm.
that he doesn't fall. So he was secured
Yeah.
and on a treadmill, and he was like, "What's that?" And then you see him running. He runs on the treadmill physically, and he's like, "Nope, fuck no!" Turns around and runs the other way. That was so cool. That was so cool. I want to do that, but I don't have the
I don't know,
I don't
breaking
have
it.
the energy to do
Mhm.
that. I'm a lazy bean.
Was amazing that we're actually there.
Suits and whatnot.
Yeah, the Tesla haptics. Tesla actually is
Mm.
now opening up for private sales now, and there's a couple of others using
Ooh.
direct skin induction that are coming out new, just like the Tesla does. So the Tesla boot suit, if you're not aware, is it's not to be confused with Elon Musk Tesla. This is actually another company, but they use
Yes, I always think of about
direct
cars
induction
when I hear
to the skin, not vibrators, but actually direct induction. So you can it actually will trick your skin into sensing temperature differentials along with touch.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
So, like, as you know, from a filmmaking background, typically, you know, you want to tell a story. So, when you go to the theater to pay your money, what are you actually paying money for? Well, it's to experience an emotion, right? So some people go, it's like,
Mhm.
well, I want to laugh tonight. So, you know, I want the laughter movie. I want to be scared, you know, and they go pay their money to be, you know, scared. So in VR, you can see like the regular theatrical type stories are really gonna, you know, have a run for their money, I guess, in competition with these such uh, intense, you know, emotional experiences. Like you can imagine a VR experience with that kind of, yeah, you're literally feeling it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When, say, a director wants to bring a moment of fear or you know, whatever. But dang, that's there's some insane days ahead of us.
There
Definitely.
is. In fact, I was even watching on some of the art projects. Some of them are actually movies. And for the biggest thing I've noticed with a lot of movie producers and stuff like that in VR, doing a 360 and experience is on normal photography, you can actually control where the viewer is looking and control that emotion and what they're seeing.
Yeah.
In VR, where it's happening all around them, it's hard to control, you know, keep the audience where they need to be in the story. But there was one I remember. It was actually called Gloomy Eyes, and it was one of the best ones I'd ever seen. Ever seen. So it was like this small little world, and you could walk around it. You could look in and around and stuff like that. But it was this touching little story. But you could actually walk around this small little world, and everything is happening in this small little world that you could actually walk around, and it was quite
Oh.
magical. Mhm. So I can
Yeah, I
definitely see
think
the
Imagine that.
potential of it. Mhm.
you know when you think about storytelling, even from a photography point of view, um, uh, there is so much that you need to fill the frame with, right? And that you know just a person taking a picture of a mountain or something like this, how he frames that up is telling a story. And now building these worlds, it's you know going to be the same way. Just how worlds are built, how you experience it. I guess it's more like architecture. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the way creatives have to think about building worlds and how they want people to react inside those worlds. Yeah, it's almost too many options. In the case of filmmakers, you're trying to kind of narrow the scope, I guess, of where
Yeah.
you point the camera. Okay, we want to cut away from that because we don't want to show that. So anyway, and you know, again, I'm really excited to explore some of these new spaces that are growing inside of VR chat, and yeah, just to discover them and what we can do in the in the filmmaking. We're recording this here tonight, but or today, whatever time zone this is broadcast at.
A myriad of time
But
zones.
yeah, I'm
Many
excited
different.
about doing more camera work inside of these zones for sure.
I
Mm.
mean, I know for a fact about our show, there is basically just our show, a talk show on VR chat, and maybe one more even that I have heard of. And Foxrin, you know I'm talking about you, girl. they have also an amazing show going on, and they were actually also featured in our show when we did the 6873 on the streets.
Mhm.
I have seen some of their videos or people making videos about them saying that they were their first ever to have a talk show on VR. It's not true. I actually think we started before you guys. Just saying. Just putting it out there.
Everyone
don't
always says they're the first, right?
But you don't see a lot of this. We know a couple guys who wanted to make a horror film in VR chat, but their project got delayed by a year because they didn't have the actors or the storyboards and such in order. But they're
Yep.
still gonna come on our show as soon as they actually work everything out. So to see one of your films maybe on VR chat, who knows? Maybe we
Well-
can actually promote it in here. One that they
Yeah,
have.
that'd be good.
I think what's cool is the same skills that you need for filming in real life are the same skills needed in here. You still need to frame up a camera. You still need to cast actors. You still need a script. You need to block the scenes out, what angle. So in some ways, this is going to be exciting. I see VR being a place to actually teach new filmmakers how to make films with, like I say, you can have a whole classroom. There's at home on their headset, and you can be in a studio with virtual lights, virtual cameras, virtual lenses.
Yeah.
And essentially, like in Unreal Engine, the cameras and lenses in there just are exactly the same as our real cameras. So
Yes, I've seen
Well, I
some of the
mean,
Unreal
like,
Engine technology, and
yeah.
it's staggeringly amazing.
Well, take TikTok. Aaron and I both do TikToks where we use VR chat for that. Like that it might even just be 30 seconds maximum to a minute, but you still have to film it. You still have to have the angles. You still have to edit it as well. So it's kind of like, how do you say, a miniature movie maker. Not that it needs that much, but you still have to edit it together where it makes sense, or that people want to watch it. I have had my hurdles with that, so I know how much it takes just for a 30-second video.
yeah.
So yeah.
And your show that you're doing takes a lot of work. And I guess that's, I know part of what we're talking about today is the crypto side of, I'm a filmmaker, but why did I even sort of get into crypto was for the fact of it takes a lot of work, and sometimes work needs to be paid for, or it just doesn't get done. Either you have a lot of volunteers working, or you have to pay someone to get something done. So filmmakers, creators are always in need of money to buy new gear for their time, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of, my journey was always, every time we did a new film, we needed money for it to get made. Typically it was a crew of friends who were volunteering to do the major part of the work, but some things, gear, rentals, and food cost money. So we sort of began to create these agreements. They were basically contracts with the people who would invest into our films, and just like, hey, if you invest $20,000 into this film, obviously we're going to repay you from the first funds that those productions are making back. And typically those were paper contracts and just verbal agreements. What people would say, legal contracts. So when we began to see what was happening in the crypto space, we thought, you know what, like these things that in the crypto world they call smart contracts, we were seeing that we could make use of those simply as when revenue from the films were coming in to an account, they weren't going into the hands of an individual, but into a smart contract, which would automatically, sort of like just programmed money. It would, if the contract was written mathematically where the investor gets paid back first, that's what it would do. And it was a very simple way
It
of
would automatically sort it
splitting
and send
funds. Exactly.
That's
And
that would be
that's
amazing.
good.
yeah. And so, it wasn't anything super complex machine learning language. It was almost like a vending machine, when you press the button on the vending machine, it's like the O. Henry chocolate bar comes out. And the same way with these smart contracts, digital currency put into one wallet would automatically send it to people's individual wallets. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's good. Yeah.
So you had touched on NFTs and that. For a lot of our audience stuff, what exactly is an NFT? I know I've been hearing a lot about it, especially with the metaverse and stuff like that, becoming growing and stuff. And a lot of people are concerned with NFTs and also the idea of a cryptocurrency, a non-bank-based cryptocurrency becoming the standard currency for this metaverse. What are your views, and what exactly is that?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, to just define an NFT is like a digital certificate of ownership. It's a way of proving who owns a particular asset. And we were talking about before, like some avatars are clonable. You can copy them with certain avatars. If a person locks it or that's his own personal, he made this, I don't know if they can be stolen or not or try to be hacked, but the idea of that avatar being yours and yours alone, and that it can only be possessed by one person at a time. And you're not allowed to make multiple copies of it. And when that avatar is on your body, it's yours. Likewise, when an NFT is in your particular crypto wallet, that is there. It can't exist anywhere else. You can't make a copy of it. The NFT can have lots of different data attached to it. Most people think of NFTs just as a JPEG picture, right? It's like, oh, look at the NFT I bought. And a lot of people go, well, that's just the JPEG. Why would you pay $10,000 for a JPEG picture? But it's not so much you're buying a digital picture as its certificate of ownership, say like your Patreon account, right? Your Patreon holders, they have access to, I don't know what your merch store, maybe they get a discount on your merch store. Maybe there's special clips that the regular audience hasn't seen before. And your Patreon people, they get to listen into, the intro that Ren first made that we're not going to show, right? Not that there was a problem with that first intro we did. But if you guys are on there, if you're if you're some of their patrons, you can watch that one. They will put that in. It was hilarious. For the rest of you, no. So the idea is NFT can be special access, like a backstage pass. Even, we have Felarina. Dang it, I got that name wrong.
Farinara. We can just call him Felix.
Felix.
Yeah. So Felix, he's here in the studio. Like, how many of you at home would like to come to the studio while these guys are filming? Well, if you own their NFT, their special access Patreon account NFT, then that gets you in this room. You could, you can come hang out with these stars. So the idea that that's a way that NFTs can be used.
So an NFT is also basically creating rarity in a universe that inherently doesn't have the ability to create a rarity.
Yeah, like for example, space. It's not I don't think there's any of worlds in VR chat linked to NFTs yet. Maybe there are, but that would be one way to transfer ownership in the future. Is sort of like, hey, this is my studio. This has like been in my family for 10 years. It's like, do you want to buy it? It's like, here's the NFT, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
So it's
where
kind of like
also
a deed.
totally, and there's things, exciting things you can do with those when there's a value to that particular NFT. Like say you own a world, and people are like, oh, well, I think that world is worth $50,000. The fact that you're now holding a legitimate asset, you could take that NFT of your world
Yeah.
and maybe get a loan for it. Where there's online crypto places where they say, you know what, we'll take your NFT. We're going to hold that world. If you don't pay your loan back, we're going to keep your world. So the idea that, build a world, make an NFT of it, and get a loan from your NFT.
That would be an interesting thing to actually be able to, like in the real world, actually be able, like you said, take a loan off essentially a virtual real estate.
Yep.
That's the whole concept of that that's where VR comes over into the reality and stuff is, like this building that we're in, the studio, you could literally use this as collateral, as a deeded
100%.
physical property.
Yeah. And I think another thing that NFTs do really well is they help to create community. For example, if you guys had a collection of 10,000 furries or something like that are given to your Patreons or whoever want to buy these, there's the idea of belonging. When you hold an NFT the same as other people, that you're in this together. You support each other. With some of the existing collections out there, like there's the Lazy Lions, and they're a really quite strong group, quite loyal to each other. So if you're a lion, right, you're holding one of those NFTs, I don't know, maybe you're in a contest, a drawing art competition or something. You say to the lions like, hey, can you guys come and give me a vote on this like competition? And like, boom, there's like, 7,000 lions like coming and standing with you. It's like, we are tribe, man. It's like, you're a lion, we're with you, So,
Can we call them?
really
Sense
cool.
of community.
Can we call
Hey, you
them?
need to get the lions on here.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, you never know.
If you're watching, come
Also,
join.
I want to apologize for my tracking. It has a mind of its own.
We
Well,
about had
speaking
a
of, what is
concert.
your what is your whole idea and feel of what would I guess you would call it live motion capture? Because everything that you're doing right now is live, is happening right now as it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Which is, when you think
This
about it, live
is-
are an amazing technology. But what is your views of that, especially being a movie producer, and how do you see this technology moving forward?
Yeah, well, obviously, this was not possible before, just to do live capture, like the facial, like it's amazing because basically anyone can, as long as you have an imagination to write a script, tell a story, or even have a live talk show, you can create. So I think right now, maybe just because VR is such in early stages, a lot of creative storytellers just don't know that this even exists out there, and their minds will be blown as they come into this space and realize, dang, like I want to make a comedy about, two dogs talking to each other, and hire an actor, put a headset on them, and
You got
whatever,
better
build
on
a
me. You got
spaceship.
4 with a shark.
Exactly.
Being a
Oh, my
fish.
mind is going. We're gonna do a movie before we're done this relationship. Yeah. got the
You're
writers.
seeing
a
that.
film star,
Yes.
I'm just,
or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll be in my trailer.
Blech. Diva.
I need my coffee.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
go a day without
500
coffee.
subscribers. Not 500, 5,000. We already did 1,000, but 5,000, and he's finally coming out of the closet.
I did not. That's not part of my contract. That is not part of
Yes,
my
it
contract.
is.
That is your idea.
Yes, it is. We have it specified. You need to read the small print.
It's in the
Small
criminally
print.
small print.
Okay, we
You
need to
need the
go
Hubble
to
QR
telescope
code.
to see it.
Okay, we need
But it's there.
we need to go with his contract's a digital one, and then we can
It's
just
in there.
burn those. We'll
You
burn
signed
those.
it. It's in there. It's digital. It's
You
QR
can't burn
code.
them when I've got them on my laptop and I'm in the UK.
I am so screwed.
Yes,
We'll find you
are.
a nice fella.
Take that smile off your face. You're married.
Sorry, what was the laugh?
Oh god. I had a massive lag then.
I had a throat
That
fart.
was your wife.
Ren, you may be married, but
And
doesn't
Mrs.
mean you can't have a
Rosie,
virtual one-night stand with
Rossi, if
you.
you're watching,
What?
For
Sorry, I
fuck's
lagged
sake,
out then. I
man.
completely missed that whole conversation.
Basically, we're stating if
deniability.
your wife is watching. Hi.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm
Tell
dead.
you what, if we hit 10,000 subs, we'll get a live video of Ren pole dancing on Rosie.
What?
No.
Deal.
If we reach at least 4,000, I will pay for a computer and send it to his wife so she can join us.
Uh-oh.
With the rolling pin, just
I
like
would love to
see?
meet the one who has the pants on
4,000.
at home.
If we can reach 4,000 subscribers,
me.
I will personally purchase one and send it to him.
Bullshit.
Hey, no, it's an even split. It's an even split.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And unless it comes
Ooh,
down
a
to,
big pun.
our daughter.
Everything.
No.
Everything.
Then it's just an argument. I love you, honey.
Okay, so you are
she's
a
actually
member
asleep
of
on the
a
sofa.
group in...
I want them
Really,
to
Rosie?
misbehave more.
Really?
Oh, you naughty boy.
Ah,
You're naughty.
honey,
These guys have to
I
get more
love
out
you,
of
but
control.
shut the fuck up.
Nice.
Ay.
If you want us out of control, here, Ion, come over here, see if I can balance you on my nose.
I will
Don't know why I made that
chocolate
noise
you into
then.
next week.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh god, she's gonna make sushi.
In a small
I
shrimp
wonder
dip?
how a little bit of raw heels tastes.
Oh,
Nobody
God,
expects
I'm
the Spanish
surrounded
Inquisition.
by innocent-
Uh-oh.
You can't hit me. I'm out of range this time.
Maybe, but I can still get to you later.
I
You
made
better
sure I
run.
was out of range this
You better
time.
run. Bye bye, heel.
Yeah, everybody, this is pretty much normal now for us. Please enjoy the commentary of my missus trying to kill our pet fish. Anyways,
You need to add the sound effects of the total smashes and stuff.
Exactly.
That would be good.
Oh,
Okay,
one thing,
back to the whole subject.
Yeah,
Yes.
back to
let's
subject. So
rewind.
you use cryptocurrency a lot in your productions now. How has that been, and what exactly, for a lot of our viewers, what exactly is crypto coin? And maybe you could go in a little bit about how you actually use that in your productions.
Right. Well, if you go back to the first cryptocurrency, I think was Bitcoin. Everyone's kind of
Mhm.
heard a little bit about Bitcoin now, and since
Mhm.
Bitcoin, like thousands of other types of coins have emerged, and but the two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are pretty much the two main networks. Those
Mhm.
coins exist on their own networks.
That's better.
And I guess the big deal with them was Bitcoin, there's no company behind Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
just a group of, I don't know, tens of thousands of computers around the globe that the tokens are transferred to and for. And the way they
Or a
built
prince in
it, I
Dubai.
guess, yeah, I
Dubai.
guess
Mhm.
Dubai's have Bitcoins. Um,
Mhm.
but the idea is that it's a trustable network
Mhm.
where no
It's a
one, I guess, no big corporation like Google or Twitter or someone,
Mm.
have their own agendas with it. So the idea,
Mhm.
it's a place for the people's currency, I guess, is the idea.
decentralized. Mhm.
Mm.
Yep.
Well, except
Um,
for the random ass email like you have this and this many Bitcoin. Please withdraw them
oh yeah,
now. Send them to a prince in
yeah,
Dubai because he's starving.
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The princely
There is
star.
You
lot.
gotta love the.
There's lots of scammers in the whole crypto world. That's one area
Mhm.
of security. Like VR chat, every space needs you need your trusted space, right? And
Mhm.
that's something. It's funny. I've never really been into math, but I was part of this course, and they were talking about like what really brings value, and they talked about what if you had a space where people come together and exchange truth, and it's a trusted space. So it's sort of like, oh, that would be valuable. Like if I can go to a place and actually exchange truth with people. Well, what is truth like, and how do we actually communicate truth?
Mhm.
And they were talking about, like, say for example, when you're trying to teach a kid something, what do you do? How do you teach your children sort of lessons? It's like, well, you tell them stories. It's like, once upon a time, there were three little pigs, and you're trying to talk to them about security or building, firm foundation, or don't build your house on the sand, kind of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
or even songs, right? Like, what are the most truthful kind of experiences in your life where you hear a song and you say, yeah, I totally get that. That's my song. Like, you
Yeah.
have couples, it's like, that's our song. Why do you call it your song? Right? Because there's something true for you in
Mhm.
that fictional story, right? So
Mm.
they were saying, well, truth is found in fiction. And isn't it funny how some of the best friendships we have and enjoy are in this fictional world, right? And some of the
Mhm.
deepest truths sometimes that people communicate are in these places where we're animals or all kinds of different
Yeah.
sort of creatures. Truth comes out in this space in a really unique way.
Well, I think it was, I forget who said it, that all the world wears a mask. You really want to see someone's true self, give them a mask.
Yep.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yep. Like why is it people are somehow more honest in VR than you can be when you pass them by in the grocery store or whatever. It's like in this world you
Well,
get to know the deeper parts of a person.
so
Mm.
there
Without
was
fearing of being judged.
exactly, and another thing too is there's actually a scientific study done on people of our fandom, stuff like that, and they said because of us taking on a species that actually represents more of who we are than our actual physical selves, are able to be more themselves because they're better representative of who they are actually.
Well, you can take the
Yep.
same thing as online dating. Like when you read a text about somebody, you're like, nah, skip, skip, skip. And then you see a person in real life and you easily do the elevator look and like, no, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. You don't give the person a chance like to know like their feelings, their hobbies and such. And if you
Who
take
the
us,
person
for
actually
example,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
we knew each other very well personally because we shared a lot of thoughts. We were honest with each other. We don't have secrets from each other and stuff like that. So I fell in love with his personality before his real, well, RL person. So it was not anything about the looks, even though that's a bonus.
I look like I've been hit by a truck then backed up onto. I'm not
Honey, I
gonna
love you,
lie.
but shut the fuck up. For fuck's sake.
It looks like a clown car
Dumbass.
ran over me twice, and it just looks like
Hey,
I
you're
just
better
bit
looking
my
than me.
fucking
I'm the one that
head.
looks like your fucking dad.
You know what? You're not wrong. You
I'm
a
look
bloody
younger
exactly like
25.
my father
A
when he
younger
was my
version.
age.
Yes. Okay, to go back, I loved your personality before I actually maybe even loved you. If you can say it like that. It sounds weird, but that's kind of how I felt. Like everything about his personality, his big heart, and everything like that. It attracted me before like looks or anything like that. And it made me see him in a different light compared to if, well, the other
Even on the
assholes I
streets.
dated.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that also helps me put more trust in him because he shares a lot about himself and I share a lot about myself to him. And we've been through hell and back multiple times. And I feel like that's made us stronger. And even though we haven't met in real life yet, we still know how each other looks. We know our families and stuff like that. But to one day meet him in real life and start that life together, that's just, I feel like I've been known him forever. And that is what VR chat had helped me with. To not judge people by looks or by what their issues are and stuff like that, but literally sit down and listen. Hear their stories, as you might say. Get a piece
Their
of
soul,
their
their
life. And
stories.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And you meet
Not
so
what kind
many
of car
different
does he
people.
drive? You know,
Hey, you like my car.
Yeah.
it is
What
cute.
do
Much is
you
in the
mean
bank
you
account.
drive a small Fiat?
Huh?
You drive a small
Okay,
Fiat.
okay.
Not even a
Y'all can
Fiat.
have a bromance later. Okay?
What?
Just saying.
Play
Don't
the
think it's
song.
bromance over a Fiat. What? Which one?
Yep.
You know which one?
Is
The Fiat
I don't even drive a
bromance.
Fiat.
Whoa.
Was it?
It's a Citroen.
Okay, but taking in
That's even
context,
worse.
also with these guys here, when we first started making the show, I have a
Better than a Mini.
whole different appreciations for everyone in here, new, old. I don't care. Like these are my family. Like seriously, and I I would hate to see any of you guys go, no matter what, because you're a big part of my life. The show is a big part of my life. And like I said, it's a whole different world opening up. It's a whole different story starting. And even now, especially with 1,000 subscribers, I mean, we're famous.
In our own minds.
Yeah.
And
So I'm kind of curious.
what? Sorry, but
You
for your
continue.
own, for your fans, for your subscribers and stuff like that, they're watching you guys, and sometimes they're feeling that same sort of closeness. Wow, they share so much of their lives. I really connect with them, and that's where you talk about celebrity, but there is that the idea of like people feel like they know you so much, like when they see their celebrity in person, it's like, oh, they go up and hug them. They don't realize for the person, it's like, who are you? Like
Yeah.
just a stranger coming up and just grabbing you, or So, but
Mm.
that's part of sharing yourselves, sharing your. You don't realize how many, how people are connecting to what you guys are saying and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
So I was kind of
That's true.
curious too. You on your movie stuff, what kind of movies have you actually done? Like, are there any
Yeah.
special? What's the movie that's closest to your heart that you really love?
Right. Well, actually, one of my first films was called Lost Wilderness, and which is why the name Lost Wild, right? But that was a family movie involving what you call a blended family, right? When two families get together, and invariably there, challenges trying to bring two families together. You have kids who, it's like, you're not my real dad, and don't try to be that. Like, there's all these kind of problems, right? So it was a story like this of a young couple, in love, and of course the kids that they're bringing in. They thought they'd take them on a camping trip, and the kids invariably hate each other, right? Want nothing to do. And of course, these kids are going to get lost. Their ATVs break down. And guess what? There's a bear out there, and a bear starts hunting the kids down. And while the kids are actually now bonding together through the whole trial of that, now the mom and dad characters are being pulled apart, right? Because they realize, oh, we maybe shouldn't have done this. We tried to force this family together too quick, and now our kids are gone, and they're lost. And so anyway, it was a fun little story. We filmed it out in a place close to Vancouver here in the Chilliwack Mountains, and basically we did it because we wanted to basically go into the woods for a month and camp and drive ATVs around. Like, we thought, hey, like, why not make a movie while we're out here? Yeah, it was just like, we wanted to go camping for a month and get paid for it. So we did that.
Found a bear.
And
Win-win.
I mean,
Win-win.
seriously, like, if you're gonna do movie, be creative, like, have fun while you're doing it, because otherwise,
definitely.
but that was it. And we did get to work with a real bear, which was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And well, there's a scene in the film where the one kid gets sick. He's on sort of what do they call those, travois, when you're pulling someone behind on sticks and stuff, like they used to.
Like a trivet.
A makeshift gurney.
Yeah. And anyway, they come across this bear, and we thought, oh, how are we going to do this? Like, are you going to, this was kind of, I don't think visual effects was even at that ability when we were filming this. Like, dang, it was like almost 6 years ago. Anyway, so they have these bear wranglers, and they come and bring a bear in a trailer to a specific place. And I thought, hey, cool, like, this is a movie bear. Like, it's a trained actor. It's just, it can talk and stuff. It's like a movie bear. Yeah. So I guess my advice to you in the studio audience, or watching on YouTube, is if you ever, hire a bear for your movie, make sure you go and see what that bear can do before you actually show up. Because, we were kind of in for a lesson as to, what is possible. When I thought it, as a movie trained bear, no, like they can't, balance on a basketball and do stuff like that. And yeah.
It's not Russia.
But we did get through the scene, and we didn't get eaten or anything like that. And
that's always a good plus.
And just watch the movie Lost Wilderness. You can meet the bear. But
I'll definitely
bears
be
are
looking
cool.
for that.
Yeah.
Don't try and be Dr. Dolittle and talk to the poor thing.
Come to
Yeah, Florida has a
You
bunch
can
of
talk to
them.
gators, bears, crocodiles, anything you want. You
Well,
think
you're
you
big.
can find it?
Oh, what was that show? Did you guys see the one with the lions and tigers? And oh yeah, the tiger show.
Oh my.
The Lion King?
Oh, Tiger
Oh,
King.
the
Lion
the
King.
whole
Mm.
oh no,
Tiger
oh
King.
no.
Yeah.
That was
Tiger
I
King.
heard
funny
it.
I've
I
part
not
never
is-
seen
watched
that.
it.
I've not seen it yet.
The funny part is, she actually lives in my town.
She?
What?
He.
Well,
No,
Carol
she.
Baskin.
Carol
about him?
Baskins.
Carol bloody
He's in
Baskin.
jail.
I think he's in Orlando.
Is he?
Oh yeah, true.
I think he's
I
in
thought he was
Orlando,
dead.
though.
I thought he was too.
You could be right.
No, his boyfriend keeps him alive.
What?
Yeah.
Confusion.
Yes, major
When are you getting
confusion.
sick of
But
that?
anyways, having Carol Baskins live near where I live, I don't feel safe. She might kill me like her husband.
Okay, honey. I'm gonna say this with all the love I can muster for you right now, but shut the fuck up.
We need a count of how many times she tells him to shut up.
She's got to
You can
put
definitely
money
tell they're
about
in the
married.
jar every time she says
You
that.
can tell they're about married.
Someone needs to put a
No, no,
tally
no,
of
no,
how many
no.
times Toki says her catchphrases.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm gonna have my own
Lost,
t-shirts.
So are you working any interesting projects and stuff right now?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple. One is another family film about a little girl and her pet pig named Elvis. And I think they called this pig Elvis because her dad was a big Elvis fan.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
and it's a story about her
Hmm.
trying to hold on to her pet. Her dad's selling the farm, and unless she does something, she's going to lose her pig. And there's guys who actually are trying to set up a barbecue or something like that, and they got to stop this. We cannot let Elvis get hurt, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, that
Exactly.
project, we just finished shooting that. It'll be going to post-production in the new year. And it's kind of exciting because that's also another crypto-funded project.
Mhm.
And that part of the thing, like we talked about us bringing to market a collection of goats, right? So part of the thing is, as a goat, you're going to earn rewards from that movie. As the more successful it becomes, the goats earn revenue from that. So it's
that's
part
cool.
of being so you're part of a creative community. As a goat, you can either write a proposal for a show that you want to create, or you can support and help market other proposals that the collective has funded. And it's just fun because instead of like just saying, oh, I have a smart contract and it's a crypto thing, it's like it's in the form of a goat. And I think we can put some of these things in via you can see the goats here. They look super cool, right? That they're
Yes.
beautiful goats. Some goats are have a music-based theme to them, as you can see by their
very
wardrobe.
cool.
They have instruments. Some goats have cameras to symbolize filmmaking goats, and so you get to be a part of this community. It's fun. You're holding an asset. The goats are actually an asset, which hopefully is growing in value over time.
Mhm.
And because of that too, you get to be part of maybe you've always wanted to be part of movies, or like not necessarily acting, but you just want to be there, like be in the studio and hanging out. So the goats get some of those behind the scenes access that other people. It's kind of like your Patreon account that these goats will have. They get special access to stuff. So
That's
going to be fun. That yeah.
Mhm.
And part of, I think this is going to be the beginning. We do want to dial in our avatars. So not only do you have a goat NFT, but we want to, in VR chat here, create some of those identical goat avatars. So, for the future, I see our GOAT holders having their NFT when they come to VR chat, it'll be like, boom, they can actually wear their NFT. They can wear their avatar.
Exactly. That's
and,
so cool. That's so cool.
You know,
That is actually way
yeah,
cool.
and it'll be just theirs and theirs alone,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
Yeah. So that's
So
part
is
of
this
the
something
plans for the.
something you actually can continue with all your movies, or will they each have an individual NFT associated with it, or will it be a continuation of the Ghost for all your different media?
Yeah, I think the goats will be a limited group of that sort of participates in all of the projects, and yet at the same time, you know, whether it's a music project or a film, like say a film can be distributed as an NFT itself. So, like the goats probably will start at a price range of about, I don't know, maybe $400, something like that for a goat. Whereas if you sell a movie or a song as an NFT, those would be more like $1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there's a price for everyone in there. Like,
Mm.
if you want to support and stuff like that, you don't have to pay like $400. There is the
Yeah,
smaller
it's
price
like
range.
what. Yes. Well, and it's all the purpose of, you know, why are you buying this asset? Like typically, people they were started as crypto investors, so they might go, oh, you know what? Like I've got $1,000 in my savings account. It's not earning any interest. I'm going to buy $1,000 of Ethereum. And so they did that. It's like, oh, wow, Ethereum, you know, was worth $200 like a year and a half ago. And now it's worth $4,500. So,
Ooh.
you know, they're going like, oh, that was cool. Like that was an asset that grew over time, grew in value. So some of the people are just saying, well, I'd like to buy an NFT instead of just buying a cryptocurrency. And some of those original NFTs, they literally were just a picture or a piece of art. And what we've sort of said is, you know what, there's much more utility that we can build into this NFTs. So buy an asset worth $500, hold it for a year, and that could be a life-changing, you know, asset that you were holding. For example, on the last movie, Elvis the Pig, we did some product placement. So in a sense, we had a sponsor being one of these NFT projects called the On-Chain Monkeys. And the On-Chain Monkeys, again, we can bring one of them on the screen here. You'll see they're a very simplistic type of artwork, and we for that scene we placed the art in one of the binders of the kids' school. It was a school scene. So those kids, those actors, got sort of a bonus for including that. So they got an On-Chain Monkey NFT, which is at the time was probably worth about $250. So the idea, you think, well, typically your actors, you'll pay them in cash too, but what do we do with our cash? Well, you spend it on, you know, whatever. I bought some clothes and I spend it on rent and, you know, whatever else. But with the monkeys, they're going to hold that, right? And it's the idea of, let me hold this asset for a long time. You know, in a couple years, that might be worth $10,000 and you can buy a car with that. So in essence, it's teaching people to treat, you know, currencies, you know, like assets and not just like money as a mean for paying bills, something like that. So
it kind of like
that's
going
kind of
into stocks. It's an investment.
Yep.
Kind of like deal.
Mm.
Oh. So I want to ask you a little bit. Oh,
go ahead.
I
was just
want
kinda
to ask
curious.
you. Is it gonna be
you
you
guys
or
can fight
me?
it out.
Flip a coin.
For fuck's sake,
Tennis.
Ren. Shush.
Yes. Interesting.
No, what I
Yes,
wanted
yes,
to
yes,
venture
yes.
into was the
She
whole
wins.
alt space, because Ren met you through Altspace, actually in a group of what was it you called them? Or called the
They're
group?
world
VCCC.
builders. Hey, yeah, what do you call it?
I call it
VCCC?
VCCC. Virtual
Yeah,
Conversation
that's
with
good.
Content Creators.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, it's such a big, long name. We needed Heald to give us the thing. So, yeah,
If you need,
Sean.
thank you. In Altspace, which is, I guess, just another virtual hangout for in VR. We have a regular meeting on Monday nights. It's mainly for world builders. And we get together, talk about the projects we're working on, talk about the eventual, problems that exist in the space that the devs are trying to work out, how we can work around those, where we can get assets from, those kind of conversations. And, that's how we met. And I was, I'm so glad you came out to
It's-
that meeting because.
yeah, it's a great meeting. Some of the people I've met there have just been just amazing. Just the level of creativity at some of these meetings. I was like, I don't even know if I should be here. I'm just like a little YouTuber.
He's been
I-
talking nonstop ever since and praising people and saying you guys need to meet them. They're so amazing. And I mean,
Mhm.
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Just a level of
Yeah.
creativity there. In fact, there was that one I went to where there was a bunch of musicians and they wanted to say, okay, let's see if we can do this without lag. They set up a whole system right there within a few minutes and did a whole jam session. And this is literally taken from Vancouver to literally all over the world, playing live music together in a jam session. They had, okay, well, let's do this. We can cut off a few nanoseconds here. We can do this. We can do this. And I'm like, wow.
I mean,
Big
movie
brains meets music.
producers, music producers, you have the studio. It's right here. It's right now. You don't even have to like have the whole battle of getting the artist flown over or whatever. Put on your headset, you're there.
Yeah, or even, one of the guys from the channel Luminosity who makes MREs, he built the coolest thing where basically you type your city or location, your address in, and it builds the map where you live or wherever geographically that is around you, about a square
That is
mile.
way cool.
And you can,
Wow.
it's basically like you can have a meeting in Google Maps.
That's
You can
so-
show
amazing.
people your
Wow.
town, your area,
Yeah.
where you're from. That's
Yeah,
cool. I want
That-
to try
wow.
it.
That would be amazing.
yeah, and it builds the world. Just sort of takes about a minute, and then it's like, because Google Maps has always been cool,
That's
but it's even better when you can have all your friends hanging out there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
But then at least we can
else
see a
here.
gator in the
I wish
picture
I was
or a
in the middle of
bear.
nowhere.
True. Or you can
That's
see the cow.
sightseeing without leaving your chair.
Exactly. Did you know? So there was a project I had watched a TED Talk about the future of tourism in VR, and in fact, it was part of the InMove group, which is an open source robotics platform. And they said before too long, in fact, there was actually a really touching story that they did for this, is for a lot of children and stuff like that, and people who are bedridden, they would actually have this droid that was in a wheelchair because it wasn't fully autonomous. You could have the upper body, but not the lower. So these people would take these robots and wheelchair them around like different areas. And while these people could put on a rear headset, and each one is attached to one droid. So they could move their hands and everything was repeated on the Android. So they could pick up things, they could look around, they could talk to people, all, VR attached to
that's
this
sweet.
droid. And so they could actually have an outing even though they couldn't physically go out.
Aw.
But they were saying, they could use
I
that same
see.
technology even for tourists. Before too much longer, instead of traveling to some place, you'll simply rent time on a fully autonomous droid that you can literally walk around with. It'll be
Wow.
a full droid, so you'll be able to go to locations, buy stuff, have that item mailed to you, go to the different sites, talk to people,
Whoa.
literally have the whole experience
Jesus.
outside of maybe eating.
You need very good
And
Wi-Fi.
very good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But yeah, also I know that you, before we started the interview, you're talking about your organization or donating to an organization that you felt very strongly for.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
please tell us a little bit about that.
yeah. So through a friend of mine in the UK that I met while I was there, his name is Tim Lovell. He is an editor. If you look him up on IMDb, you'll see some of the documentaries that he's edited, and we'll leave his link in the in our description here, and we'll also leave a link to Destiny Rescue. And Tim started working with this group as their sort of media producer, and what they do is rescue children from places where they've been brought into sex slavery, stuff like that. So
Oh man.
what these guys do, they have a series of sort of orphanage homes that they've built up in the Philippines, in Thailand, and places that are just safe for rehabilitating kids who've been trapped in that. But they're like a missions organization, but these guys are pretty hardcore because they're sort of like, they have teams that are set up to literally, undercover. They'll go, they'll present themselves as guys looking for girls. Once they find,
Top secret.
yes, we won't say how they do it, but so cool. Like, I'm going to send you guys the video links, and you'll see, basically they rescue kids, like literally pull them out of these scenarios. And like, of course, it breaks your heart to see the scenarios that they're in. And at the same time, it's like, I think they're describing like what sort of a mission actually costs for them to put together two guys, get wired up with cameras, go in, scope out a place, realize, okay, yeah, these aren't kind of adults, these are underage children being held, and set up an operation to actually pull them out. Man, there is nothing more fulfilling than saying, you know what, I gave $100. I was part of that mission to bring those kids out. And at the end of the year, you're going, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody, Merry Christmas. What did we do this year? Hey, we did a bunch of awesome shows. Oh yeah, we supported Destiny Rescue. And there's
We saved a
a
bunch
little
of
girl
lives.
or a little boy kind of over in Thailand who's got a home, and they're going to school now instead of being part of some dark place on the planet. Yeah. So that's cool.
Amazing.
And
amazing.
sometime again.
That is good.
A good question is, how the hell can someone sleep at night after doing that to a kid? After doing those kind of traumatizing things.
Yeah.
Some dark.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
know,
I literally don't get people like that. I mean,
I don't think anyone
even in
will.
VR chat, we have people like that.
Mm.
And you guys can check out
there are
that
people like
episode.
that in the world, and it's
Yeah.
Dark
Darker side of VR.
Check out our episode, The
Mm.
Dark Side of VR Chat. We go into more details about that. But yeah, they are, where there are innocent people, they're always predators in one way, shape, or form.
And predators and any others like them are a stain upon humanity.
But I think that the organization you're talking about, it sounds so amazing, and please, you guys, give them all the support you can. We need more organizations like this in the world. We will leave a link in the description below. Like, love, and subscribe. Just give them all the love you're giving us. We can't ask for more than that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a worthy cause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you know, hats off to you guys for addressing the topic. Like I say, that's one of the shows I did see from you guys. And you know, it comes down to, like I say, you know, moderating some of these spaces. And because, like I say, when it's just pure chaos, people will get up to. So it's community driven, you know, as VR chat community really decides, hey, we got to do something about this. We're going to try and put a stop to these nasty people who are trying to ruin the experience, which is awesome here in VR chat, or take advantage of people, or young people learning how to use VR. So
exactly. So is there any final thoughts or anything that you would like to maybe touch upon?
yeah, you know, I think we've talked about so much tonight or on this show already. We talked a little bit about crypto. I think we did a lot of education on what NFTs are, and just people's
Definitely.
heads are probably full. You know, thank you
I do
guys
have-
for having me on here.
I do have one
It's a
question
pleasure
though,
having you on here.
for the NFTs, because I do know that we do have a lot of content creators and stuff like that also watching our show. Do you have any links that we could share in the description below where maybe some of them could maybe get started in NFTs?
Yeah, for sure.
And do you have any
Yeah.
advice for someone actually looking to NFT their creations?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, part of this is like the biggest thing you're going to do is educate yourself one step at a time. Kind of the same way I'm having to learn how to, you know, even sit on a couch here. You got to learn like these little steps, right? And
Yep.
it's
was
the same.
adorable.
You know, it's the same with crypto and NFTs, one step at a time. And we'll put a link to, there's a special community built just for education. They're called the bees. They're called the social bees. And they're a beautiful group of people. They're mostly, they have a call every day just on Zoom. If you have questions or sort of like, hey, I'm interested in crypto, how do I start up a crypto wallet? They will literally get on the phone with you. They're not trying to pump any sort of product of theirs or whatever. They're there just for the purpose of educating people. And that is a good place to start your journey of learning all things NFTs. And of course, you can come out on Monday nights to the VCCC meeting, you know, virtual content creators.
It's a thing now.
Yeah.
You have to have that patent on that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to patent it now so you
Yeah.
get royalties from it.
You're gonna have to put an NFT to it.
Yes.
10
Hey,
years from now,
Lambo
he
stingy.
rolls up in a Lambo. Yeah, VCCC, baby.
Ah, sort of Lambo. I'll be rolling up in a 1938 Bentley 8-liter.
No.
Oh,
You
there
have
you
to
go.
buy the
Yes.
mansion so we can all live there.
Yes, you
That
already
is true.
promised
We
us
just
the
need
man.
9 million for that.
Yes.
So,
All
A
right.
castle.
Yes.
All right,
thank
do we
It
you.
have
literally
any
does look like
other?
a castle with an on-site farm.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts,
Oh.
questions, anything?
no, I think I'm all tapped
Well, I
out.
would like to thank you.
Are we
I'd
gonna
like
take
to
over
thank
the
you so
world?
much, Lost Wild, for joining us this week on the show.
Oh,
We definitely would like to see you again sometime on
Yes.
our show.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Until next time,
For
thank
sure,
you so
for
much
sure.
for joining us on the 6873 show. We definitely hope to see you next week.
bye,
And
guys.
stay
We
tuned. We do
love
have a
you.
lot more coming. So, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
And to all our potato
Toodle
chips
pip.
out there, take care and be safe. Lots of love. Bye.
They're my brethren.
Oh, 'tis a
they're
problem
not,
with the
I'm
island
joking.
boys, have you now, lad?
Right.
Come out and fight me, Baldy. Come out! Come out and fight me, Baldy. Come.
You incurred the wrath of the Irish.